好，咱们接着录这个《冰与火之歌》。Then, one morning, she spied 3 women in the cold grey robes of the silent sisters, loading a corpse into the wagon. The body was sewn into a cloak of the finest silk, decorated with a battle-axe sigil. When Arya asked who it was, one of the guards told her that Lord Curwen had died. The words felt like a kick in the belly. He could never have helped you anyway, she thought as the sisters drove the wagon through the gate. He couldn't even help himself, you stupid mouse. After that, it was back to scrubbing and scurrying and listening at doors. Lord Tywin would soon march on River Run, she heard, or she would drive south to Highgarden. No one would ever expect that. No, he must defend King's Landing. Stannis was the greatest threat. He had sent Sir Gregor Clegane and Walker Holt to destroy Roose Bolton and remove the dagger from his back. He had sent ravens to the Eyrie. He meant to wed the Lady Lysa Arryn and win the Vale. He had bought a ton of silver to forge a magic sword that would slay the Stark Wargs. He was writing Lady Stark to make a peace. The Kingslayer would soon be freed. Though ravens came and went every day, Lord Tywin himself spent most of his days behind closed doors with his war council. Arya caught glimpses of him, but always from afar. Once walking the walls in the company of 3 maesters and a fat captive with the bushy mustache. Once riding out with his lord's bannerman to visit encampment, but most often standing in the arc of covered gallery, watching men at practice in the yard below. He stood with his hands locked together on the gold pommel of his long sword. They said Lord Tywin loved gold most of all. He even shed gold. She heard one squire jest. The Lannister lord was strong-looking for an old man, with stiff golden whiskers and a bald head. There was something in his face that reminded Arya of her own father, even though they looked nothing alike. He has a lord's face, that's all, she told herself. She remembered hearing her lady mother tell father to put on his lord's face and go deal with some matter. Father had laughed at that. She could not imagine Lord Tywin ever laughing at anything. One afternoon, while she was waiting her turn to draw a pail of water from the well, she heard the hinges of the east gate groaning. A party of men rode under the portcullis at the wall. When she spied the manticore crawling across the yield of the leader, a stab of hate shot through her. In the light of day, Sir Amory Lodge looked less frightening than he had by the torchlight. But he still had a pig's eye, she recalled. One of the women said that his men had ridden all the way around the lake, chasing Beric Dondarrion and slaying rebels. We weren't rebels, Arya thought. We were the Night's Watch. The Night's Watch takes no side. Samurai had fewer men than she remembered, though, and many wounded. I hope their wounds fester. I hope they all die. Then she saw the three near the end of the column. George had donned a black half-helm with a broad iron nozzle that made it hard to see that he did not have a nose. Biter rode ponderously beside him on a destrier that looked ready to collapse under his weight. Half-healed burns covered his body, making him even more hideous than before. But Jaqen still smiled. His garb was still ragged and filthy, but he had found time to wash and brush his hair. It streamed down across his shoulders, red and white and shiny, and Arya heard the girls giggling to each other in admiration. I should have let the fire have them, Gendry said too. I should have listened. If she hadn't thrown them that axe, they would all be dead. For a moment, she was afraid, but they rode past her without a flicker of interest. Only Jaqen so much as glanced in her direction, and his eyes passed right over her. He does not know me, she thought. Arya was a fierce little boy with a sword, and I'm just a grey mouse girl with a pail. She spent the rest of that day scrubbing steps inside the wailing tower. But even so, her hands were raw and bleeding, and her arms so sore they trembled when she lagged the pail back to the cellar. Too tired even for food, Arya begged Whis' pardon and crawled into her straw to sleep. Whis, she yawned. Dunson, Chiswick, Polliver, Ralph the Sweetling, the Tickler, the Hound, Sir Gregor, Sir Amory, Sir Ian, Sir Merrin, King Joffrey, Queen Cersei. She thought they might add 3 more names to her prayers, but she was too tired to decide tonight. I was dreaming of wolves running wild through the wood when a strong hand clamped down over her mouth like smooth warm stone, solid and unyielding. She woke at once, squirming and struggling. A girl says nothing. A voice whispered close behind her ear. A girl keeps her lips closed. No one hears. And friends may talk in secret. Yes? Heart pounding. Arya managed the tiniest of no's. Jaqen took his hand away. The cellar was black as pitch, and she could not see his face, even inches away. She could smell him, though. His skin smelled clean and soapy, and he had scented his hair. A boy becomes a girl, he murmured. I was always a girl. I didn't think you saw me. A man sees. A man knows. She remembered that she hated him. You scared me. You're one of them now. I should have let you burn. What are you doing here? Go away, or I'll yell for Weiss. A man pays his debts. A man owes 3. 3. The red god had his due, sweet girl, and only death may pay for life. This girl took 3 that were his. This girl must give 3 in their places. Speak the names, and the man will do the rest. He wants to help me. Arya realized with a rush of hope that made her dizzy. Take me to River Run. It's not far. If he stole some horses, we could... He laid a finger on her lips. 3 lives you shall have of me. No more, no less. 3, and we're done. So a girl must ponder. She kissed her hair softly, but not too long. By the time Arya lit her stub of a candle, only a faint smell reminded of him. A whiff of ginger and the cloves lingering in the air. The woman in the next niche rolled over on her straw and complained of the light, so Arya blew it out. When she closed her eyes, she saw faces swimming before her. Joffrey and his mother, Ian Payne and Mary Trant, and Sandor Clegane. But they were in King's Landings hundreds of miles away, and Sir Gregor had lingered only a few nights before departing again for more foraging, taking Ruff and Chiswick and the Tickler with him. Sir Amory Lodge was here, though, and she hated him almost as much, didn't she? She wasn't certain, and there was always Weiss. 好，这一节先录到这儿。